Hello and welcome to Convoluted Combos, where we bring you only the spiciest jank. I wanted to showcase a deck that I had a lot of success with in the recent Artisan event that Wizards put on for FNM on Magic Arena. So the deck we're looking at today is a very mutate heavy Golgari deck, with the best card definitely being Seasonal Growth. So Seasonal Growth is a 2-cost enchant that scries when you get a creature down and draws when you target a creature with a spell. So this is usually used in aura decks or in a deck with pump spells, but the reason we're running it is that Mutate counts for casting that spell that targets your creature. So that combo gives you some insane value in this deck. It's something I've been wanting to do since Mutate came out, but it wasn't incredible in Standard against such high power levels. But paired against the lower power level of Artisan, this combo is crazy good for just constantly drawing you into more and more cards. So for the rest of the deck, for 1-drops, we're running Zagoth Mambas and 2 Mysterious Eggs. They both serve a fairly similar purpose of giving an early body to mutate onto. In general, I like the Mamba quite a bit more, but I wanted to run both in case we came up against less creature-heavy decks where we'd rather get the +1/+1 counters rather than having the removal of the Mamba. Next, at 2-drops, we've got the Essence Symbiote. So this gets +1/+1 counters on your mutated creatures and also gains you life. The life gain's actually quite relevant in providing a buffer against Monored or any other kind of aggro deck. But yeah, it's also, you can mutate onto this creature as well if you don't have your Mamba or Great Cocoon out early. At 3-drops, we've got the Glowstone Recluse, so we've got 4 of that. This is a really good spell for just growing your creature like crazy quick. But yeah, that's it for the 3-drops. Then we've got Insatiable Hemophage. So this really pushes damage through when you can't swing, and also provides quite a relevant ability in Death Touch that kind of stops people from swinging even when your creature's not that massive. But yeah, this is a good payoff for playing so many mutate cards, and it just drains the opponent out. Then we've also got the Great Horn, so this mutates for 3 as well, so it's another cheap mutate creature, and also gets us more basic lands out of the deck when it does mutate, which is good because we draw so many cards with Seasonal Growth. We need that land to be able to play out all the cards that we draw. We are just running 1 Boneyard Lurker. I would probably, if I had the wild cards at the time I built this deck, I would probably run 2. It's not crazy good, it's okay in certain spots, but sometimes the ability isn't relevant. Like if you're winning, the ability is definitely not relevant. And yeah, like if your stuff's in the graveyard, you might not have something to mutate onto, so it's not always the best card, but it's quite nice to have every now and then. Cavern Whisperer is pretty good at 5. It does mutate for 4, and when it does mutate, each opponent discards a card, so this is quite good. Usually, at the time this comes down, they've not got many cards left in hand anyway. It will usually either get like a land that they've been sandbagging in hand, but at least you don't have to worry about, oh, maybe they do have a spell, or a removal spell will come out that they've been waiting on, so it kind of forces that play, and doesn't let them kind of keep cards in hand that way. It does also give the creature Menace, which is pretty big. I mean, when you're mutating with the Glowstone Recluse, it gets massive, and you have this creature, but we don't have any trample in this deck, so you really need something like Menace to make it harder to block your creature. Then Auspicious Starix is one of my favourite cards. It's a very kind of win more card, and can be a little bit awkward. So 5-cost 6/6 creature is already pretty pushed, so that's just good on its own. Then you mutate for 6, which is a little bit awkward, so the mutate's more than the creature, so you're tempted to play your 6/6 at 5, but then you want to save it for the mutate, so that does make it a bit awkward. But when you do get it out, you get permanents out of your deck when you do mutate with this, and that includes untapped lands so that you can play more mutate spells and just keep going and going and going. In a deck that was running more of these, I've definitely I've milled myself out with this before, so yeah, it's a lot of fun to play with, but it's not necessarily, it's not an early enough play a lot of the time, but it can just come down late and blow out a game. Then it's 6 mana, but mutates for 5. We've got the Chittering Harvester, which makes them sacrifice a creature whenever we mutate with it. This is one of the better mutate spells because with all this we've got a lot of card advantage with the Season of Growth, so having the removal is pretty important here, and this obviously plays both as a mutate spell and also gives us that removal. So hopefully with a combination of Mamba taking out the little guys and then leaving them with just a few big ones, the Chittering Harvester makes it so they don't have a bunch of stuff to sacrifice because we got rid of it with the Mamba, so the Harvester takes out the bigger stuff for you. Now, something that you might look at this deck and be like, the curve looks a bit weird, right? Because you got your 1s and 2s and then you dip at 3, big 4s, but because it's mutate, the curve kind of switches around a bit. So if you actually put stuff at where it is mutate cost wise, so the Spider's 4, Great Horns 3, Hemophagus 3, Cavern Whisperers 4, this is 6, and Harvester's at 5. So you can see the curve's way better. This you can see it curves nicely actually, that we kind of spike a little bit at 4 and 3 and then go back down. This is part of the reason why we're not running more Starixes, because it is our highest drop in the deck as well. So the curve ends up being pretty nice once you kind of think, oh yeah, we're going to mutate everything, so we don't look at the normal mana cost for it. And then lastly, we've got our land base. So this is just, obviously we're playing Artisan, so we've just got the Guild Gates, we've got Jungle Hollows that gain us a life as well. We've got Evolving Wilds. I would probably cut the Evolving Wilds now that I've played a lot of this deck. I would say most of the time I didn't really need it, and it kind of hurt me to have that tap land. I like these lands. They provide both mana, but Evolving Wilds felt a little bit overkill, so I would probably cut that if I were to make this deck again. And then just 6 swamps and 6 forests. We're pretty even on both green and black. So yeah, but with all that said, I've recorded some games, so let's have a look at those and see how the deck does. Okay, we do actually get to play the game. Good. So, Season of Growth, 2 mana, both come in tapped. Symbiote. We don't have the mana to mutate anything, but if we get one more, then we do. And we can play Season of Growth to get the Scry as well, so it might be alright. We'll play it out. Opponent plays a Plains. They do have something they can play in hand. Charm Stray. Okay, so it's probably like a Lifegain deck then, since you can play the Pride Mate as well. Yeah, white-black Lifegain. One of the fairly standard archetypes I've seen today. Right, so turn 2. So we could play the Mamba so that next turn we could mutate onto it. I don't like that I'm not getting the Season of Growth. The use out of the Season of Growth, but I think it's more important to get rid of their creature here, because the Stray can grow the Pride Mate up every turn otherwise. But yeah, we're gonna have a hard time dealing with the Primate. We've got a Death Toucher, but we don't really want to lose that because it's our Mutate card. So he does play the Scour Barons, which is obviously good with Lifegain synergy cards. Let that all through. So if we Great Horn next turn, we'd have 4 mana the turn after, which means... Ugh. Okay. Why do you have to make things difficult, opponent? So we could still kill the Charm Stray, but I think we lose too much in doing that. Maybe we can outvalue them if we play Season of Growth, Cocoon, and then hopefully we can like mutate the Death Toucher on. Do we need more land? Well, we've got a land for next turn, so I think I'd rather draw into some more action. Cool, so we can block the 1/1 with the Great Cocoon. They're obviously swinging so they can get the lifelink damage and grow the Primate. Okay, Lurker's good, so we can get back the Hemophage after we lose it this turn. They are holding up 4 mana, so I'm not sure what they could have here. They could have like a murder or something. But if they murder, we get the Season of Growth trigger, and the way that Mutate works, if you kill the creature that's being targeted, then the creature still just comes down as normal. Which is quite weird. He has another pacifism. Swings for 7, puts us to 5. Swings for 10, puts us to 2. They have only got 1 card left. But we need 2 chump blockers. Yeah, I don't think there's... There might be 1 line where we live. So if we mutate onto the Mamba, killing the Charm Stray. Or actually maybe mutate onto the Hemophage, so that we gain 2. And then we'd need to get an untapped land from the Season of Growth. Or do we do it onto that? I don't know. We'll do it onto the Mamba, I think, actually. Get rid of the Charm Stray. So we do get the untapped land. So we're still alive, just. Play the land, play the Symbiote. So we're going to chump the Primate. Harvester would be very good. So again, we might have to mutate onto a creature that's already pacifism, but if we can get rid of his Primate, we're in business. but we'll see what he plays. So we can block that. And then doesn't play his card, hoping it's a land then. So we can mutate for 5. We've got 6 mana, so we can't mutate and do something else. But I think this is the play. So we'll do it onto this so we gain a life, I think. Maybe we'll just win by mutating onto our pacified creature. The Hemophage will just do its work. Do you have a response? I mean, they've got something, but it might be like a take art or something. Ooh, Despark. Mamba. Mamba's pretty meh. But we do at least have. We've made them use their removal on something that was already pacified, and we still get the creature. So that's that is the nice thing about Mutate. You don't get like 2 for 1. So they do draw another pacifism. So it's another chump block turn. It's a shame because if that stuck around, then again we could do quite well there. So we've got access to 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. Just thinking about if we were to get something back with the Lurker. So we could Lurker. Again, obviously we're doing it onto something that's already pacified, which is pretty bad. Maybe we Season of Growth and play the Great Horn. Yeah, I think that's the better play actually. Oh no, don't want to mutate it. Just want to play it. So we get 2 scry triggers. Land, no. Harvester's good, we'll take that. Please just hit land. We really need you to. So this mutates for 5. So we can't play Lurker and mutate onto it. So we'll try it. Do get to draw 2. They don't seem to have anything up, so get another black mana since we've got so many forests. And they lose it. So depends if they've got direct damage in their deck, whether or not we're in doo-doo. Okay, that's good. So we can we don't have to mutate onto the Harvester. We can just Mamba and keep going. Don't need that. Recluse seems good though. Right, let's Hemophage for 3, and then we've got 4 mana, so we can Lurker or Whisperer. Or even we can Recluse, that might be better. Yep, GG. Stuck around on 1 life, but the value of Season of Growth and the removal in these Mutate cards kind of got us through there. Right, so we've got Mamba and then some 4 and 5 cost mutates. So if we draw 1 land, we're not in too bad a scenario. So we'll keep. They have mulligan, so they're going to have to put 1 thing to the bottom. So we're already winning on card advantage. Okay, that's not good. So we can't block with the Mamba here because he could cycle in response. Cycling, I haven't seen a lot of cycling yet, but as soon as Artisan came up, I was like, cycling is going to be strong because Flourishing Fox is an uncommon. Do we want to get that? So Evolving Wilds would mean we could thin the deck of land, so we're less likely to draw it, but with this hand, we actually do want to draw land, so I'll just play the Jungle Hollow as our tap land and might as well swing in, I suppose. Jeskai cycling with the Alliance. This is a good deck for Artisan. Forgot how like cheap this deck was. So I am going to play the Evolving Wilds this turn because we've not got a 3 cost play, and I'd rather be able to play something next turn. So we'll get a Swamp since we've got so many black cards in hand. Does play out the Ominous Seas rather than cycling, so he's looking to get his Kraken. Very cool deck. That might have sounded sarcastic, but I genuinely think it's pretty cool. Right, so I think the Mutate's good here. Get rid of one of the fairies. And they have to discard. I think we swing because they'd have to cycle twice to pump the Fox enough to make it a bad trade. So maybe we don't swing because we're on the back foot a bit here. That might decide whether we lose this game or not. They do cycle and then I suppose they're looking to see if they cycle into another one. So the tip-off will be if they swing with the Fox. I don't think they'd want to trade otherwise. They don't, so they didn't get a cycling card in hand. As much as I want the value out of Season of Growth, I think we need to get that card out of their hand. And we do get to ramp up to our bigger spells that are kind of stuck in our hand at the moment here. So we'll put it under. Kill one of the fairies. And get a green land this time to keep it even. I assume that's... Oh, Zenith Flare, that was a big hit. Okay. This creature's getting beefy enough that I don't really want to keep it back to block. And we do kind of need to pressure them down before they get the Kraken out. They do just draw a land, and obviously they play it out since we could make them get rid of it. Now, can we make them -2 before they sacrifice? Let's find out. So over, since it's got better stats. So we want whatever happens, that has to go first. So get rid of the 1/1. Nice. They have to get rid of the Fox. We smash him for 4. Alright. Kind of pulled it back with the Harvester's really good mutate card. So he does use all his mana so that he can get the fairies. We have access to 6 mana, so we could Starix and get a lot of stuff out. And I think I like that the most. Over again, because it's got better stats. So we get to kill both the fairies. Get a swamp. Bunch of stuff out. Starix is one of my favourite cards. It just feels so good to get so much stuff out of your deck. Smash in for 6. So they can make a Kraken, but we can... Can we play 2 mutates? 4... Yeah, we can play 2 mutates, so we can make them sack the Kraken, unfortunately for them. Under... Get a bunch of stuff. Okay, yeah, GG. So we start off, we got 3 lands, Season of Growth, Symbiote, Zamba, 1 more land, and we can mutate the Whisperer, so this seems pretty good to me. The Scry off of Season of Growth, I think is just so good for being able to take slightly sketchier hands. Draw the Recluse, so I think play Season of Growth here so we can start getting the Scries. So we're wanting to scry into a land. Fenlurker. What do we get rid of? Symbiote? It doesn't do anything amazing, so we'll get rid of that. Play out the Mamba, hope to hit a land. Another Season of Growth. I don't see a turn where we've got enough mana to play another Season of Growth and not fall ridiculously far behind. So if he doesn't do anything, we can play the Great Horn on the Mamba, but being Monoblack, I'm expecting some removal here. Okay, they do swing. I'm not going to block because they... Well, both they can pump and also I wouldn't want to trade the Mamba. If they got removal, I want them to have to use it. Plays a Lampad, so they got 1 mana up, so they could disfigure in response to us doing what we want. But I think we just play the Recluse. So they do have to do it in response, so at least we get the 2/3 and draw card. So then they'll probably... Yeah, so they'll probably sack the Lurker here, since we're going to kill it otherwise. Smash in for 4. the value of seasonal growth really pushes this deck into high gear, and then like being able to have the mutate creatures with destroy effects is so strong. Does just play another Lampad, so they must be just a sacrifice deck, I suppose. So we've got access to 5 mana, so we could Cavern Whisperer and Mamba. Let's do the Mamba first, why not? Then having a Mamba out might mean that we don't get completely destroyed by a Farika's Libation. Do we not have a land? I don't think we've played a land this turn, so I'll keep the land. Ooh, they do drag to the underworld, but we do still get the draw and the creature. Hemophage seems good. Oh, we did play a land. Well, we'll have one for next turn. In fact, that's good, because we can Hemophage and Greathorn because we have the land, so all planned. Does play an Aerialist, so we need some removal. Actually, with double mutate this turn, we can do it on the Mamba and then remove the creature. So do that, draw a card. Do it over since it's got better stats. -2 to the Aerialist. Draw another card. Hopefully not land, because we need to keep it going with all these mutate creatures. You sack in response to me targeting. I don't know why he's roping here. So getting the land out of our deck's good, so we're less likely to draw it. Oh, they're sacrificing themselves. Okay. That's interesting. So we do get to swing in here. And the Aerialist isn't massive. It's just a 4/5. Now if the Aerialist had lifelink itself, I'd be worried. Does play a Grey Merchant. He can swing for 5, put us down to 11, so he's winning the race a little bit there. So we really need to not draw a land. Nice. So we can either put it on the Greathorn or we can put it on the Whisperer. I think I prefer putting it on the Whisperer. So So let's not play a land before we do this, just in case. Yeah, I like getting the card out of their hand here. Even if it is just a land. Oh, it's not a land. Okay, that's good. They do have to sacrifice their Gary. And then Hemophage, I think, can go on the Great Horn. Actually, no, let's just make them get rid of their other creature. That makes way more sense. Alright, we've dominated the board. Omen of the Dead can get something back to chump block us. They'd need 2 things back. Oh, they get Gary. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, we just win. Bye, Gary. GG. Okay, so Season of Growth, got the Mamba, just need a land. I think we keep. Especially, we're on the draw, so we can kind of decide. Yeah, so I'm thinking I don't play the Mamba. Save it for the Scry off the Season of Growth. They are black-green as well, so they might be playing a similar deck. Aerialist. Seen a lot of Aerialist. So Evolving Wilds isn't too bad. We can go and get, don't know, black mana. Doesn't really matter. We don't have anything with 2 mana symbols in the deck, so it's more for multi-spelling than anything. Another Recluse, not what we need. Could use another land, really. But we can play Great Horn next turn if they don't remove our Mamba. And if they do, we can play a Recluse. Come on, play something I can kill. Fine, whatever. So we don't get to kill anything here, but getting the land's pretty important so we can play these big spells out. So we can go over. And with a Mamba and and later on a Harvester. Oh, they do kill our creature, okay. But at least we get some land out. Ah, they are a Mutate deck. With an Aerialist. A Flying Gnar. It's pretty cool. Unfortunately a tap land. That's not too bad actually. So I think we just get the Recluse out here. And then next time we can play the Harvester on it. If everything goes right. Keeping land since we've got so many spells to play. Swings in for 6, puts us to 9 if he's not got any tricks. Nope. Another aerialist. So we could double Great Horn, but I don't think that's anywhere near as good as just playing the Harvester onto it. Over. So it's a 6/8, they have to sack something. Keep it back on blocking duty for now since it's got reach. Hopefully we don't see something else like a Heartless Act. That might be game. Okay, it's not fully game, but it's close. Don't need a third Cavern Whisperer, it doesn't seem particularly useful. So we will mutate. Over. So we've got the reach again. It does have... never mind. Oh well, can't will them all. Almost stabilised. I don't think we can take a one land hand, even though I'm not that risky. Much better. What are we throwing back? One Great Horn, I think. So I'll play the Jungle Hollow because I don't really want to thin the deck of land yet. Another Symbiote. We'll get this down, but I'd expect it to get shocked. I assume they're just playing mono red good stuff. Trying to remember what I saw Scorch Spitter in earlier. I think it was just mono red, but it wasn't a particularly good mono red. So I can play another Symbiote. If they don't remove him, the life gain should be pretty relevant against them. Although maybe they'll be running the Tybalt, that means you can't gain life. They've got the Rager. Oh wow, they are. That is very good against this. Yeah, I'll definitely block that. These aren't amazing at the moment anyway, so... So we could mutate onto it, it would still get the +1 counter, and then he can't favourably block. Which seems good to me. We'll attack Tybalt because we want to be gaining that life. And also he just makes chump blockers, so it's best to try and get rid of him. Does block with the Devil, which I was expecting, since Tybalt can make another one. Now, unfortunately for our opponent, I'm pretty sure you can't play Cavalcade in this event, otherwise they'd definitely be playing it. Okay, Chandra, glad we're out of burn range. Does buff the spitter though. So we've got 5 mana. So we can only really do one thing, and I think the Recluse is it. So this gets 3+1 counters now. But we really need to start hitting some of our removal. I think we swing at Chandra. It's getting pretty awkward with how many chumpers they've got on the field. I wouldn't expect they'll need the mana off of Chandra, so it's mainly there to buff the spitters at the moment, since they can't do 2 damage to any of our creatures to kill them. Problem we've got is like we need the Lifegain off the Hemophage as well, and we're not going to get that. Doesn't swing at all. Okay. Well, we don't need it that much then. I'm almost at the point where I'm thinking, do we want a second creature? We need like trample. I suppose giving it menace is pretty good. So maybe we start there. So that way chumping becomes pretty hard for them. And as far as I'm aware, Mono-Red doesn't really have a good way to deal with such a massive creature. Okay, they discard a land. So, swing at Chandra, I think. This way they have to block with at least 1 Scorch Spitter. Which is good. Does 1 to us, I assume. Unless you've got another 8 damage ready in hand. Does play a Spitfire. So that can work well with the -2 on Chandra. She does go for, despite this not having haste. I suppose they might be thinking that they're essentially sacrificing Chandra this turn. But I might actually... No, I do have to go for Chandra because they're both elementals. Does double block, so he's valuing his Chandra a lot here. Hemophage would get the last card out of their hand. But I think it's a land. So I'd rather kill the Tibalt and get the Lifegain. Maybe we should have gone for face there, but I don't see us losing a long game here, so this is the very, very safe play. If they can use that card in hand, they pretty much have to, yeah. So yeah, we definitely could have won this turn if we'd swung at their face. But they didn't draw into anything anyway, so... And I don't think they could have, us being at 29 life, so... I don't feel like it was a massive misplay to play it the really safe way that I did. Goodbye. Alright, GG. Okay, starting hand, 3 land, got a Mamba, got the Hemophage which we can play. Yeah, it's okay. I'd like to see a Season of Growth, but I don't think it's worth going down to 6 to try and find it. So opponent just straight up disfigures the Mamba, fair enough. Played out the Guild Gate rather than the Wilds because I don't want to thin my land yet. To be honest, maybe we should be cutting the Wilds from this deck. I don't think we've had tons of problems with mana. So they're also on black-green. Do play out a Foulmine Knight. There's the Season of Growth, so that's good. Nope. That went a bit weird. So will they be similar to us? Foulmine Knight is pretty nice to mutate onto if they are this deck. Savvy Hunter. Interesting. So we'll play out the Recluse. Can mutate onto it next turn if they don't kill it. Don't need a Cavern Whisperer. I've already got one. What we need is more land. Plays the Fine Broker, can't get anything back. It is a permanent card, so it can't get the Disfigure back. Not sure they realised that, considering the pause they just had. Do get another Recluse, but at least we get to draw a card here. And the Recluse is now a better blocker. So the only thing that can really swing into us is the Foulmine Knight, unless they remove our Hemophage / Recluse. So we'll keep it back. If they don't swing, we're stopping them from getting in 6 damage rather than doing 5 ourselves. They play a Gorging Vulture, so they're filling up the yard a bit. So maybe they're just a standard Golgari graveyard kind of thing. Or it's just a Golgari pile. Oof, still don't hit a land. We'll play out another growth here. And then if we do hit a land, then we draw 2 cards off of playing a Recluse. Okay, they play another Gorging Vulture, fill up the yard. Ah, okay. So Molder Hulk seems to be the big payoff card for filling up the yard that much. They have forgotten we have reach, which is nice. I think we just play out one of the Recluses here. We're not at the point where we need to keep all of that value in hand. Don't need a Cocoon, need a land. Symbiote isn't going to happen for quite a while, still need just a land. Didn't take the Symbiote because next turn we're going to Recluse, which should draw us into a land, and then the turn after we're probably playing a Harvester or something. Do I trade a Recluse here? No, I don't think so. I'll take one. Another Season of Growth. I don't think we need that much value. This is probably a land, but I'd rather get it out of their hand. Just in case, you never know. Do get to draw 2. So that can go over. Yep, was just a land. The life gain's nice here, so we don't have to worry too much about the knight getting through every turn because we're gaining the life back anyway. I'll get a swamp since we've got a forest in hand for next turn. Keep it even. We're a pretty even deck. But yeah, I like the position we're in at the moment. Next turn we can either Harvester or we can play Growth and Recluse. Draw 3 cards. Which I think I prefer. Draw 2 and make them sack, or draw 3. Like, making them sack's not massively relevant. Yeah, I'm just thinking if we could Great Horn and Recluse, but we can't, so I think this is the play. I am just going to put it all on the one creature since it's got the Hemophage on it. And we do make them discard here as well. So we'll go under since it's got worse stats. For the most part, that's all you're ever looking at when you mutate is what's the stats. There are some very niche things like creature type can, so we're not going to swing since they've got a death touch. Creature type can be something. I've mutated onto an elemental that needed to target an elemental with its ability. That didn't work out very well when I put my thing over the top. Also colour, it does take on the colour of what you put on it, but otherwise yeah, it's pretty straightforward. So how much mana do we have? 6, 7 this turn, so we could do a 3 and a 4, which we don't have, so we'll just do Symbiote, Great Horn. Don't think there's any 2-cost mutates. Another Harvester we don't need. We want a fairly cheap play. Yeah, Great Horn's pretty cheap. Won't be able to do it this turn, but that's fine. We can Harvester here actually. Let's do that instead. So we've got a full grip as well as a 12-12. It's about to get even bigger. I don't know why they're keeping these in hand. Like, we're gonna make you get rid of it anyway, so yeah, full grip, 17-19. It's pretty good. Doesn't mill over anything relevant. And eventually we'll make him sacrifice his whole board. Can we do that this turn? Maybe. I don't think we deck ourselves doing this. I love seeing all those triggers. So they sack 2 here. Ah no, they just sack another 2, so they get to keep 1 thing. But this has menace, so we just win this turn. Ooh, Hemophage, that's even spicier. Pure spice. Yep, GG. Alright, so hopefully you saw the power there of our Mutate deck and Season of Growth in it as well. I really hope that I can kind of find some way to run something similar in Standard with some of the upgraded cards. But yeah, it seems like there's something solid to build on there. I'm just not sure it can hold up to the crazy stuff that you see in Standard when all the rares and mythic rares are let loose. But it seemed like it found a nice home there in Artisan, so that's something you can try out yourself if Artisan's a format that comes back up again. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe if you want to see other similar deck techs and also limited gameplay. But yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you in the next one.